I'm 3 months pregnant with Daniel's baby. And we're in love. My younger sister Vanessa announced, while standing between my husband and my birthday cake, her hand protective over her still flat stomach, as our mother dropped her champagne glass. The 50 guests at my 30th birthday party, friends, family, colleagues who'd come to celebrate at the country club I'd paid for, fell silent, as Vanessa beamed at my husband like she just won the lottery. Did she really think the prenup Daniel had insisted on, to protect his assets, wouldn't apply when he was the cheating spouse? Or had she never asked him why a man with $30,000 in student loans and a mediocre sales job needed such extensive legal protection? 3 months, I repeated, setting down my wine glass with deliberate calm, while mentally calculating dates. So, that would be right around Valentine's Day. You remembered? Vanessa gushed, mistaking my tone for supportive. Daniel was so sweet. He said you were working late on that huge merger. So, he took me to dinner, instead of letting me be alone. The merger. I'd closed a $12 million deal that night, working until 3 a.m. to secure the bonus that paid for the new Tesla Daniel drove. The same car he'd apparently used to drive my sister to what I now realized wasn't the first of their dates. How thoughtful of him, I said, pulling out my phone. Taking care of family while I was building our future. Exactly, Daniel finally spoke, his face flushed but defiant. Vanessa understands me, Celia. She doesn't make me feel like a failure just because I don't make 7 figures. 8 figures, I corrected automatically, scrolling through my contacts. My bonus this year put us over 8 figures. But who's counting? See, he turned to the frozen party guests, like they were a jury. That's what I live with. Constant reminders that I'm not enough. Vanessa loves me for who I am. Who you are. I mused. Finding my lawyer's number. Is apparently someone who sleeps with his wife's sister, while living in his wife's house, driving his wife's car, and spending his wife's money. Fascinating self-discovery journey. Daniel. Don't be bitter, Vanessa stepped forward, her voice syrupy sweet. We didn't mean for it to happen, but when you find your soulmate who's been married to your sister for 5 years. My best friend Lauren spoke up from table 3. Classy, Vanessa. Really classy. You don't understand. My mother finally found her voice, and to my shock, she moved to stand with Vanessa. Celia's always been so focused on her career. Can you blame Daniel for seeking warmth elsewhere? Warmth. I repeated, then actually laughed. That's what we're calling it. I hit dial. Martin Blackwood answered on the second ring. Benefits of being a high-value client. Celia, happy birthday, though I'm guessing if you're calling me during your party. Hi, Martin. Quick question. In the prenup, what happens if Daniel fathers a child during our marriage with another woman? The room seemed to hold its breath. Daniel's face went from red to white. Ah, Martin's voice carried through the phone speaker. I'd made sure everyone could hear. Article 7. Section 3. Infidelity resulting in pregnancy nullifies all claims to marital assets and triggers immediate enforcement of the fidelity clause. The unfaithful spouse forfeits all rights to shared property, investments, and spousal support. And if the other woman is a family member? I asked, watching Vanessa's confident smile falter. Subsection B specifically addresses that. Infidelity with a family member of the spouse is considered an aggravated breach. The penalties double, and there's a morality clause that extends to any shared assets the third party might have benefited from during the marriage, meaning any gifts, trips, dinners, or expenses that can be traced from marital accounts to the third party must be repaid with interest. I smiled at my sister. Remember that spa weekend for your birthday? The one Daniel paid for with our joint credit card? The shopping sprees, the concert tickets. You can't be serious. Vanessa's voice pitched higher. I'm pregnant. You can't take money from a pregnant woman. I'm not taking anything, I corrected. I'm collecting what's owed. Martin, can you start the paperwork tonight? Already drafting. I'll need a DNA test to confirm paternity. I'm not taking a DNA test, Daniel burst out. This is insane. Celia, you can't just. Actually, I can. I pulled up another document on my phone. Remember when you insisted we both take out life insurance policies? And you made me use that comprehensive healthcare company that requires DNA samples, the one that has custody provisions. His face went gray. What did you think, Daniel? That I'd pay for premium insurance without reading the fine print? They can release DNA information for legal proceedings involving custody disputes. A pregnancy announcement at my birthday party in front of 50 witnesses certainly qualifies. This is why he needed someone else, my mother interjected. You're cold, calculating. I'm prepared, I corrected. There's a difference, though. It's interesting, Mom, that you knew about this affair. How long have you been covering for them? Her silence was damning. That's what I thought. I turned back to the room at large. For those keeping track, my husband has been sleeping with my sister for at least 3 months, likely longer. My mother knew, and they all decided my 30th birthday party was the perfect venue to announce it. We thought you'd be happy, Vanessa said weakly. You always said you didn't want children. I said I didn't want children with a man who couldn't match my ambition, I corrected. There's a difference between choosing not to have children and having your husband impregnate your sister. Stop being so dramatic. Daniel found his voice again. Yes, we fell in love. Yes, the timing is bad. But Vanessa and I are going to be a family. A real family, not some power couple arrangement where I'm just an accessory to your success. Accessory. I pulled up my banking app. Let's talk about accessories. Daniel. Your watch. Bought it for your birthday. Your car. Anniversary gift. Your wardrobe. Upgraded it when you complained your colleagues didn't take you seriously. You throw money at everything instead of emotions, he said. I invested in you, the calm finally cracked. I believed in you. When you said you needed time to find yourself, I supported us. When you wanted to try day trading, I funded it. When you lost $50,000 in crypto, I didn't say a word because you could afford it. Do you know how emasculating it is to have a successful wife? He finished. So emasculating you had to prove your manhood with my sister, I said. At least he feels like a man with me, Vanessa interjected, her hands still on her stomach. Enjoy that feeling, I told her. Because, according to his browser history, he also feels like a man with Cheryl from his gym, Madison from the coffee shop, and someone named Butterfly Goddess on Instagram. Daniel lunged for my phone, but Lauren stepped between us. You went through my phone? Our shared cloud account, I corrected. The one you insisted on for transparency in marriage. Ironic, really. Those were just conversations with heart emojis and pictures I won't describe in mixed company. I turned back to Vanessa. Congratulations, by the way. You've won a man who cheats on his wife with her sister. I'm sure he'll be totally faithful to you. He will be, Vanessa insisted, but doubt crept into her voice. We're having a baby. So did his ex before me, I said quietly, watching the blood drain from both their faces. Oh, he didn't mention Stephanie, the woman he was engaged to before we met? The one who was also pregnant when he left her for me? Don't worry, she warned me too. I just thought I was different. You're lying, Daniel said, but his voice lacked conviction. Check your email, I told him. Stephanie reached out last month, warning me about your pattern. Moving in with women who can support you, getting them pregnant when they start expecting equality, then moving on to the next caretaker. I ignored it because I believed in us. My mistake. My phone buzzed with a text from Martin. Papers drafted. Process server on standby. Here's what's going to happen, I announced to the room. Daniel, you have 48 hours to remove your belongings from my house. Take only what you can prove you purchased with your own income. That should fit in a grocery bag. Vanessa, you'll receive an invoice for everything traceable to marital funds. Mom, your key to my house is revoked as of now. You can't kick me out, Daniel protested. I have rights. You have the rights you signed for, I corrected. Page 17 of the prenup, which you clearly never read. Infidelity equals immediate eviction. Your attorney, the one you insisted I pay for, should have explained that. Celia, please. My mother stepped forward. Don't let pride ruin family. Pride. I laughed, but it was hollow. You think this is about pride? My husband is having a baby with my sister. My mother knew and said nothing. My family orchestrated a public humiliation at my birthday party. This isn't about pride. It's about survival. You'll be alone, Vanessa said, trying one last manipulation. 30, divorced, focused only on work. Is that really what you want? I looked around the room at my real friends, recording everything on their phones for evidence, at my colleagues who'd witnessed my professional growth despite personal sabotage, at the waitstaff who'd watched this tragedy unfold. I'd rather be alone than surrounded by parasites who confuse my success with their meal ticket, I said firmly. Enjoy the baby, Vanessa. Enjoy the man who'll cheat on you the moment someone else offers him a softer place to land. Enjoy explaining to your child why daddy left when the money ran out. We don't need your money, Daniel shouted. I'll take care of my family. With what? I asked genuinely. Your salary that doesn't cover your car payment? The business degree you never finished? The startup ideas that never launch? Or were you planning to live off Vanessa's receptionist income? The silence was deafening. That's what I thought. I gathered my purse, leaving the cake uncut, the presents unopened. Martin, file everything tonight. I want this done quickly. Where are you going? My mother demanded. This is your party. Was, I corrected. Now it's evidence for my divorce proceedings. Feel free to finish the cake. God knows I paid for it. As I walked toward the exit, Lauren fell into step beside me, followed by several other real friends. Your place or mine? She asked quietly. Mine, I decided. I want to be home when the locksmith arrives. Celia, Vanessa called out one last time. What about the baby? Your niece or nephew? I paused at the door, looking back at the woman who'd shared my childhood, my secrets, my dreams, and ultimately my husband. I'll set up a college fund, I said finally. Education is important, but it'll be in a trust neither of you can touch. Consider it my investment in breaking the cycle. That's it. She looked stunned. That's all you have to say? No, I admitted. I have volumes to say about betrayal, about family, about the price of success when surrounded by people who see you as an ATM. But you wouldn't understand. You've never built anything. You've only taken from those who have. I took nothing you weren't neglecting, she said. I neglected nothing. I was building a future you're now destroying. I looked at Daniel one last time. The saddest part? I actually loved you. Not the potential I saw, not the man I hoped you'd become, but you, flaws and all. That's the difference between us. You loved what I could provide. I loved who I thought you were. I left then, my heels clicking on marble, friends flanking me like an honor guard. Behind me, the party descended into chaos. Accusations flying, guests choosing sides, my mother trying to salvage respectability from disaster. 3 months. They'd been planning this for at least 3 months, maybe longer. Family dinners where they'd shared secret glances, holidays where they'd stolen moments, my own bed, probably, when I'd traveled for business. But they'd made one crucial error. They'd assumed my success made me soft, that my money made me an easy mark, that my love made me blind. Lauren drove, while I texted my assistant to change all passwords, alert security at my office, and freeze any shared accounts. By the time we reached my house, the locksmith was already there. Hell of a birthday, Lauren said, watching me systematically erase Daniel from my life. The best gift is clarity, I replied, changing the locks on what would soon be only my home. 30 years old, 8-figure portfolio, and finally free of parasites masquerading as family. What about your mom? She chose her side. I handed the locksmith another key to change. Vanessa's the daughter who gave her a grandchild. I'm just the one who paid her mortgage. Paid. Past tense. She's about to learn that actions have consequences. My phone rang. Daniel, probably realizing the prenup was ironclad. I declined and blocked the number. Then Vanessa's, then my mother's. You okay? Lauren asked, as the last lock clicked into place. I thought about it. My husband was having a baby with my sister. My mother had betrayed me. My birthday party had become a crime scene of familial destruction. And yet, I'm free, I said, surprising myself with a genuine smile. For the first time in maybe ever, I'm completely free. Then happy birthday, Lauren raised an imaginary glass. To 30, flirty, and financially secure enough to cut off toxic family. To freedom, I agreed, and to prenups that protect more than just assets, they reveal character. Somewhere across town, Daniel was probably realizing his meal ticket had expired. Vanessa was discovering that stealing someone's husband was easier than supporting him. And my mother was learning that choosing sides meant living with consequences. Me. I was already planning my real birthday celebration. A solo trip somewhere warm, where the only person I'd need to support was myself. The best revenge isn't living well. It's living free.